Welcome back to Turkish Stars Explained. If you're new here, this is the channel where we break down the biggest headlines about Turkish stars going global, what's real, what's hype, and what the numbers actually mean. Today we're talking about Sandokan, and specifically the one moment that tells you whether a show has real staying power or it was just premiere noise. The finale. Because premieres can be misleading. Premieres are curiosity. Marketing. Let's see what this is. But the finale is different. The finale is where you find out whether the audience stayed and whether the show finished with strength. So here's the headline. Sandokan's finale landed around 4.1 million viewers with a strong share, and that's the kind of number that makes industry people pay attention. Now the question is, what does that finale performance actually mean for Sandokan, and what does it suggest about Jaan Yaman's momentum going forward? Let's break it down. 1. Why the finale matters more than the premiere. If you've been following TV for a while, you know this. A premiere can explode and still collapse by week 2. That happens all the time because the premiere is a spike. It's hype. It's sampling. But a finale is the opposite. A finale is a commitment. People don't casually watch a finale. They watch it because they've invested time, emotion, and attention into the story. A strong finale typically means one of two things. The show built enough loyalty to keep viewers coming back. Or the show created enough cultural conversation that people didn't want to miss the ending. Either way, it points to something more durable than a one-night headline. So if Sandokan finished with a solid final number, that's a signal. This wasn't just a premiere trick. 2. The numbers, what we can safely say. Let's talk about the performance in a clean, realistic way. The finale reportedly hit about 4.116 million viewers with around 25.4% share. And the episode right before it was even a bit higher in viewers, about 4.282 million, with around 26.7% share. Now, if you're wondering, wait, it went down? Yes, slightly. But that's not the real story. Because the real story is that both nights remained strong and the share stayed high. In TV, share is extremely important because it tells you how much of the audience watching TV at that time chose your show. In other words, even with normal episode-to-episode movement, Sandokan kept a big chunk of primetime attention. That's what matters. 3. Drop doesn't automatically mean loss. Here's the part that gets misread online. People often treat ratings like a stock chart. Up means winner. Down means failure. But TV doesn't work that cleanly. A small dip from one episode to the next can happen for 100 reasons. Competition on another channel. News events. Weather. Sports. Audience scheduling. Even the pacing of the episode itself. So the right question isn't, did it drop? The right question is, did it collapse? Or did it remain competitive? And staying around the 4 million range with a share in the mid-20s is not collapse. That's still a major primetime player. And that's why this finale is meaningful. It suggests Sandokan passed the real test, consistency under pressure. For what this says about audience behavior. When you see a strong finale number, it tells you the audience likely split into 3 groups. Group 1, the loyal viewers. They watched week to week and showed up at the end. Group 2, the catch-up viewers. They might not watch every episode live, but they show up for the finale because they don't want to be left out. Group 3, the event viewers. They show up because the finale feels like a moment, something people will talk about. A finale performance suggests the show created enough momentum to pull all 3 groups in at the end. That's the kind of behavior networks love because it's the foundation for renewals, distribution deals, and bigger marketing pushes. 5. What this means for Jaan Yaman. Now, let's talk about Jaan Yaman specifically. There's a difference between being the star of a show that trends for a day and being the star of a show that holds an audience across a full run. A strong finale helps Jaan in a few ways. First, it strengthens the bankable narrative. It's easier to pitch you internationally when your show proves it can hold attention. Second, it builds credibility beyond fandom. Fandom is powerful, but industry decision-makers look for performance signals, especially on big broadcast platforms. Third, it keeps the conversation alive after the final episode. The end of a show can be the beginning of the next wave. Interviews, international sales, streaming expansion, new offers. So while the show is the headline, the deeper story is momentum. Jaan is staying in the cycle. 6. The real takeaway. The finale is a proof point. Let's summarize the real takeaway in one sentence. The finale numbers are a proof point that Sandokan wasn't just a premiere headline. It kept enough strength to finish like an event. And that matters because it changes the conversation from, did it break a record? To, did it deliver across the season? That second question is where real careers grow. 7. What to watch next, the SMART checklist. If you want to know whether Sandokan becomes a long-term franchise story, here's what to watch next. 1. International distribution expansion. If more platforms pick it up, that's a major signal. 2. A clear plan for a next season or continuation. Not rumors, real movement. 3. Media strategy after the finale. If interviews and promos continue, it means they're still pushing the brand. 4. The next project announcements for Jaan Yaman. If bigger offers come quickly, this finale performance was part of the reason. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Sandokan's finale proves the show is a real hit? Or do you think it was mostly hype and curiosity? And how do you see this affecting Jaan Yaman's next move? Italy, Spain, or something even bigger? Drop your take in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next one, because the post-finale phase is where the biggest career moves usually get announced. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.